Well, I've been a mermaid on and off for almost 9 years now. Oh my gosh. I decided to become a mermaid because it just seemed like an awesome, fun job, and I love the water, I love swimming, I love performing, I love seeing people, children, everybody, and friends. Made a lot of friends doing it too, so.
Tell me a little bit about the process of training for this kind of position. It's not as easy as it might seem.
The training process is not easy at all. People who may think it's easy, they probably don't know much about scuba diving or anything to do with something like that. The training process is pretty difficult because first off you learn, you get scuba certified, and then you have to learn how to breathe on the air hose, and the air hose is completely different than a regulator. A regulator, you have to pull the air, kind of like when you're on land, you just breathe regularly. With our air hose, it forces the air into you. That's why if you see the show, they take such quick breaths because they're getting a full lungs full of air in just one simple movement of that quick. So that took a lot to get used to, of course. A lot of choking, a lot of trying to learn that. And then, of course, the next hardest thing was swimming with no weights, no mask, and trying to breathe off this air hose, and you have to regulate your buoyancy. You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low, and if you look, the girls are all synchronized in one level, or at least we try to be most of the time. So that's pretty difficult. And then for me as a kid, I always was that kid who had to jump in the pool like this, you know, plug my nose, because I always got water up my nose, and I still get water up my nose a lot, but we have to get past that. Whenever something like that happens, you get water up your nose, you just have to, oh gosh, it burns so bad, but you smile, the show must go on. So that, and pretty much then the swimming the tail wasn't really that difficult for me because I was already so comfortable by the time I learned to get in the tail, but pretty much the buoyancy, the breathing, things like that.
Beyond all of the athleticism, if you will, and being able to master the technique, now you also have the artistry of the choreography and the character.
Yes, for me, I've had to work a little bit harder than some of the girls to learn choreography, especially whenever I first started. Now I've gotten a little bit, I know my way of learning it because I was never a cheerleader or a dancer or anything like that. I was a soccer player and a tomboy and a baseball player. So I, you know, was not as good per se as the other girls as learning quick choreography. But the athleticism as far as that goes, yes, you have to be very fit, and you have to be a strong-willed person because we do get some girls that come through here and it's just really, they were thinking it'd be a little bit easier, but it's really, really, really hard on your body. Not like your sinuses alone, but your body, your muscles physically being in that cold water, shaking all the time, almost a borderline hypothermia. So you have to be very strong mindset and strong athletic-wise. Whenever it comes to the air hose and trying to, everybody has their own spot where they breathe during the show. Everybody's supposed to be doing the same movements and the same beats and the same everything, synchronized obviously, but everybody breathes at different times. Some of us breathe at the exact same time during one spot, but everybody has their own comfort that they found after doing it for so long that they know when to breathe, and it just comes second nature and you don't even think about when you're breathing. And sometimes you just get so caught in what you're doing that sometimes I'm like, wait, when did I breathe last? I think I need a breath of air. But it's just everybody has their own way of doing it, whatever makes them comfortable and the way that they feel, it just becomes totally second nature. I know I said that, but that's exactly how it feels.
Let's talk a little bit about the music. How, if you're choreographing your moves to music, obviously you must be getting music piped into you somehow.
No, we're that good. Yes, we have underwater speakers, so we can hear the music. There has been times where the speakers will go out or something. Oh, well, we have a person in the control booth talking to us, pretty much for safety. Whenever we do Ferris wheels or dolphins or anything, say if it's a gloomy day and you can't see your hose as well, or if your hose falls off the stage top or something along those lines, and they can guide you to another hose so you're not going up to the surface, ruining the magic of the show, if you will. But back to the underwater speakers. We have underwater speakers so we can all hear the show, the music, everything that people are hearing in the audience, we are hearing underwater, along with the person in the control booth talking to us. like I said, sometimes the speakers have gone out, so the person in the control booth will just sing the song to us, so we'll all try to do it together, and it works out okay.
I think some technical issues are always part of show business.
Yes, technical issues are always a case. I mean, there's always something new. Maneuvering a mermaid tail for me is not that difficult, obviously, because I've been doing it for almost 9 years now. But whenever I went through my training process, of course, we learn whenever we're training, we have to keep our fins together, so we always pretty much practice like that. And then by the time I work my way up to putting on a mermaid tail, it feels exactly the same. But maneuvering in a mermaid tail, it's completely upper body because you want to swim very, very gracefully. You don't want to be kicking like a crazy person, so you're pretty much just moving really gracefully. But at that same time, as you're moving gracefully, you're actually using your muscles as hard as you can so you can actually get from point A to point B, because or else you would just sit here in one spot and not move. So it's definitely upper body strength for sure.
I noticed that when you're doing spins and when you're doing Ferris wheel type moves and stuff like that, it's a very, what would you say, a dolphin type of function in order to have, do you have the same type of force with maneuvering yourself through the water?
Pretty much every movement we make, I would say, is like you kind of feel it through your whole body, like a rhythm type thing. Like whenever we do our side crawls, you kind of rhythmically move your whole body together, like a wave or something, if you will. But pretty much, like I said before, everything is upper body. When we do our Ferris wheels, when we do our dolphins, we have to keep our legs very straight to have that beautiful elongated look. But everything is upper body for the most part, until you get legs.